A few moments later.
What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video. So today I am about to tell y'all the story on how I almost went to jail over a job called, y'all know the job app called Indeed, right? Y'all need to be careful. Like, I'm gonna give y'all a warning and a disclaimer. Please be careful when y'all filling out job applications and when y'all applying for jobs, putting your resume out there because they got your phone number, all of that on it. Please be careful because I got scammed on Indeed. Okay. I got scammed on Indeed, and I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. First of all, before we get into that, say hey to my man. Okay, y'all just did too much. Like, back up. Like, and you just did the most. Like, why would you? No, I'm just playing. But all right. Oh yeah, second of all, click the link in my bio or comment down below if y'all want my furry glasses displayed here. Okay. Okay, y'all. I'm about to get into it. This is what happened. So, I'm staying in my mom's house or whatever. Staying in my mom's house. And at that time, I'm like, okay, well, I need a job. Like, I always wanted to work at, like, the front desk. Like, some type of, like, medical office support or, like, administration office. Like, this was, like, 5 years ago. So, I wanted something easy. So, I'm like, okay, cool. So, I went on Indeed and whatever. And I had my boyfriend at the time, too. So, I went on Indeed. And I'm like, okay, apply for this job, apply for this job, apply for this job. But I must tell y'all to be careful. This is the disclaimer and a warning. When y'all are applying for jobs, please be careful on where y'all sending your resumes at and who y'all sending them to or where y'all posting them. Because it be people on there that be trying to call you. Like, you put your number on your resume, they call you, scam calls, and all type of like weird stuff that be going on. So I applied to this one specific job, and they ended up reaching back out to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. It was like a little front desk job, like I mentioned earlier. That's what I was looking for. So they was like, oh, we think you would be a good fit. Would you want to message us on Google Duo so we can move forward? I think it's like a Google texting app for like employers and employees and stuff like that to connect and stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I download the app, boom, and they already had got my resume and everything. So we was going back and forth, and we had like the little interview, but it was kind of weird because it was like one of those interviews, like typing, like they'd be like, oh, what are your skills? And you would type it on a little keyboard and you send it to them. Then they'd ask you something else, type something else, and then you reply back. Like, that was the red flag. Like, I should have already paid attention. Like, but this was like 5 years ago. I was young. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm about to give me a little job or whatever. It's easy going. So next thing you know, they was like, congratulations. Matter of fact, they was like, we're gonna reach back out to you when we get everything situated with your application and the interview. So I was like, okay, cool. So I think it was like a day or two later, they reached back out to me through my email and was like, congratulations, you were offered the job. So I was like, I was so excited, period. So I was like, okay, ma. Like, I told my mama I was so happy. I'm like, ma, I just got a job, a front desk office job. Like, I was so excited. So she was like, oh, okay, I'm proud of you. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I got something going on. So next thing you know, we conversate back and forth through the Google Duo message app and whatever. And like, I guess the employer and whatever, they was like getting a little bit too comfortable, like asking me like, oh, how are you? Good morning, like texting me good morning like every morning. Like, I'm like, okay, like this is weird. So they text me, good morning, how are you? I just want to follow up with you to make sure you got the email for the start dates, and so we can send you over the computer, the laptop. And they was trying to like send stuff to my mom's house. The computer, the laptop, the computer, obviously that's a laptop, the monitor, the printer, and the scanner, and all of that, the phone. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I wasn't thinking. I was like, okay, cool. So next thing you know, I'm like, you know, we like best friends at this point. So I'm being friendly, like, okay, I'm doing good and whatever. And they like, what is your address? Then I'm like, okay, I get her my address. So they like, okay, well, we about to send you this check. I think the check was like, it was like in between like $900. I think it was something like either like $700. It was in between like $700 and like $900 or something like that. I know it's under, no matter of fact, yeah, I know it was over like $700 or something. So then I'm like, okay, cool. They about to send me a check, and I'm like, all right. So once I asked them, like, so when I cash my check, so do I just go buy the equipment, or like how we doing this? Because, you know, I was like asking questions because it's my first time like working from home. So they was like, yeah, when you get your check, make sure you message us back so we can give you full instructions on what to do before you cash the actual check. So I'm like, okay, cool. I think it was like 2 days later, I got the check. I got the check quick. I don't know where they stayed at. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I never even heard their voice. Like, I don't even know if it was a man or a woman. So they sent me the check like 2 days later. And I'm like, oh, period. It was a nice little check or whatever. I wasn't working. Like $700 to like $900 something or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So I text them and was like, yeah, I got the check. So what do? They was like, okay, well, go to the nearest bank. So I'm like, okay. So I told my boyfriend, I was telling him everything. I was like, yeah, I just got a job, blah, blah, blah. And they want me to go to the nearest bank to cash this check. It's an at-home, work from home job. So he was like, okay, cool. I support you. We still talk to this day and stuff. He my ex now, but we still talk to this day, whatever. And so me and him met up, and we ended up going to a bank like downtown, because we were on the bus at the time. So he was like, how much is this check? And I'm like, 700, 900. It was like in between, whatever. And he was like, dang, that's a lot of money for your equipment. I'm like, yeah. He was like, bruh, I don't know. That seemed kind of fishy or whatever. So I was like, I don't know. Like, maybe they like really trying to help me get a job. Like, so I went to this bank, y'all. Everything was cool. So the lady was like, next. So I walk up. No, let me stop. So I walked up, and she was like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, hi, I'm here to cash a check for my job. And she was like, she looked at the check and was like, what kind of job is this? And I'm like, it's a work from home job, but she had saw like the company name on it and stuff like that. She was like, I don't know about this job. It seemed a little weird to me. And I'm like, why you say that? Like, what's going on? She was like, I guess like the numbers that was on it or something. She even tried to call the company number that was on the check or whatever. Like, she tried to call the company or whatever. Somehow, I don't know how she got the number to call, but they did not answer. I guess the fake company or whatever, they didn't answer. So next thing you know, she was like, I'm going to call one more time. So I'm like, okay, cool. So she called again. Then my boyfriend, he looking at me. I'm looking at him. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to get me a job. So he was like, everything cool? And then she was like, yeah. She was like, I'm going to cash this check, but I'm trying to make sure this is a legit job and a legit check, because I don't want to go to jail for giving you a sorry y'all, my camera had cut off. But she was like, I don't want to go to jail for cashing you a fake check, because we all can go to jail. I can go to jail, you can go to jail. So I'm like, ooh. So next thing you know, she cashed it and whatever, but she only cashed like a certain amount or something like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm texting my boss, my so-called boss from the fake company, through the app. And I'm like, yeah, I'm at the bank and I just cashed this check. So what do I do? Like, what store do I go to? Like, what do I do? First thing he said, he or she, they was like, go to West Union. They wanted me to wire this money to them. They wanted me to cash this check, because they couldn't do it because they went to jail. They wanted me to cash this check and send it to them. And I was so dumb. I was finna do it, bro. I was finna do it. So my boyfriend at the time, he was like, why you gotta send him the money? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I showed him the phone. Like, they just told me to send him the money. So he was like, okay, I don't know. This seemed a little weird. China, this seemed a little weird. So I walk out the bank with the money. And next thing you know, I get on the bus. And not even 20 minutes later, the lady from the bank called me and was like, ma'am, you need to bring that check back. So I'm like, at first I didn't know who number it was. She was like, ma'am, you need to bring that check back. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? She was like, ma'am, that check is fraudulent. You need to bring it back. Please bring it back. She was like, just spilling her heart out, her life story on the phone. Like, please, I don't want to go to jail. Please bring that check back. We all going down if you do not bring this check back. I mean, not the check, the money. She's like, please bring that money back. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm on my way. I did not hesitate. I'm like, I'm about to take this money back. So I told my boyfriend, I'm like, babe, they just told me to bring the money back. Like, so I text the employer, and I'm like, the bank just called me. They wanted me to bring this money back. Like, what's going on? So they were like dry texting me. Then it said, seen. They kept leaving me on red, bro. So I was like, babe, like, they leaving me on red. Like, bro, am I getting set up right now? Like, what's going on? He was like, man, take that money back. Come on, bro. We got to hop on the next bus. Turn around. Take this money back, bro. I'm like, okay, cool. So the employer, they just keep leaving me on red. So I'm like, that's weird. Like, I did what you told me to do. Why you keep leaving me on red? So next thing you know, I get off the bus immediately after she called me. I got off the bus, hopped on the next bus across the street to take me back the opposite way, back towards the bank. So, so they like dry texting me and stuff saying what's going on. But they wasn't really texting me back. So I went inside the bank and she was like, I'm so happy that you came back. I was not supposed to cash you that check. Remember I was telling you that the check looked weird. So I'm like, you was saying that, but I'm still don't know what's going on. Like, they was like, that's a fraudulent company. That's why I was hesitating on cashing that check for you. She was like, I would have went to jail and you would have went to jail. So my boyfriend, he looking like, oh. And then I'm like, dude, what's going on? So I showed her the phone. She was like, yeah, this is the employer. I'm like, this is the job right here, my boss and whatever. And she was like, nah. She was like, they texting you on that app? And I was like, yeah. She was like, nah, baby, that's a, she's like, you gotta be careful because there's scammers out here. She was like, where did you hear about them from? I was like, Indeed. The actual job site app. So she was like, wow. She was like, yeah, you gotta be careful because it's scammers and frauds on that website. They be trying to send people money so they can wire it back or send it back or whatever. Then I was like, bro, what? So I gave her the money back and she counted it. She was like, you didn't spend anything, did you? I'm like, no. Well, I'm like, when you called me, I brought the money right back. So next thing you know, my boyfriend, he was like relieved because he was like, man, I didn't even know that the people be doing that through the job site. Like, that's crazy. They try to get you any kind of way. Don't even matter like where it's at, like what website. And it's so popular on the internet, bro. Like, please be careful. Please be careful. Like, so yeah, I gave her the money back. We talked about the situation, and then she was like, I got kids, I got a life ahead of me, and you got a life ahead of you too. She was like, I'm so happy you got this money back. You brought the money back. So next thing you know, the employer wasn't texting me back. So I'm like, bro, like, I blocked them and whatever, and I deleted the app. At this point, I was so scared for my life, bro. I was on that bank camera and everything. I was so innocent and I did not know like what was going on because I really needed a job to support myself and just to like move out my mom's house. Like, I didn't know at the time. My boyfriend was there every step of the way, like to the bank, on the bus. Like, he was there with me every step of the way. And it's just crazy, bro. Y'all need to be careful, man. Be careful where y'all applying to. This is a lesson for me. And I'm just like trying to give y'all a rundown on what's really going on this internet. It's not a joke out here. I would have been in jail right now. Like, if I would have did that, I would have been in jail right now for fraud, for all of that. Like, bro, it's crazy. So me and my boyfriend, we talked about it and whatever after we left. And my heart was beating so fast. I called my mom so quick. I'm like, Mom, this job just played me. She was like, the same job that that you was just telling me about, that you just got hired? I'm like, yes. I should have like told my mom, but I did show her the check and stuff like that. But I should have like really like sat down and talked with her and show her all of the little text messages through the app that me and the employer was going back and forth. She probably would have told me then, like, I don't know, Dad, look a little weird. But yeah, man, that's a lesson for me. So I'm telling y'all to be careful. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if y'all want to see more. If y'all want to hear more story times, and if y'all want to see more reaction videos. And that's on period. I'm probably gonna do one more story time before I go to bed. Thinking about it. Period. I can't wait to tell this story. I got my YouTube. Say bye, babe. Brr.